What's up, y'all? This is the Coach Perney Podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe. You know how it go. So today, I'm going to tell y'all a story of betrayal. The biggest betrayal I ever witnessed in the South. All right? Now, this story is also, it ties into a lot of things. But to sum it up, I was a senior in high school, and I was always a part of the jock crowd, I guess you would say, sports crowd. I played college football. I also was in the Navy. I'm a Navy veteran. So I always ran with the people who were, you would say, athletic crowd. Well, we came up on our senior year, and I don't know how we ran into this cat, but it was this big white dude. He was a freshman. His name was Big White. All right, that's what we called him. We called him Big White because at the time, there was a show called Robbin' Big, and people called me Big Brown, and so they just called him Big White. I don't know why, but he was cool, I guess. Just a chubby little freshman. So we get to hanging with him, and he starts eating with us, and he tells us, he's like, guys, man, my grandpa died. All right? So we like, oh, for real? He's like, yeah. So we trying to figure out why he said that. What do you mean? Why are you saying your grandpa died? He's saying, well, he owns this lake, this lake house up at, I'll go ahead and say it, Smith Mountain. I think it was Smith Mountain Lake. So we like, oh, okay. So, we still trying to figure out, why you bring that up. He said, y'all can party up there if y'all want to. I got the key. So I don't know why, I don't know why he did that, but that was awesome. We was like, hell yeah. So he gave us the key. We went. I don't know how we got linked up. From the South, you got your yee-yees, right? So somehow we had got linked up with the yee-yees, and they was like, oh, we gonna go scope the place out. So we ended up riding up to the lake house. I think this was on a Friday that we went to check it out after school. And when we went to check it out, the school week is from Monday to Friday. So this is Friday, we leave and we got the whole weekend. So we had planned on having a party on Saturday night. So we was just going to scope it out on Friday night. So we go up there, we drive up there. I think I was driving in a guy's name is Josh. Y'all ain't going to know, but he's a yee, and I think I drove up there with him. And regardless, however I got up there, when we get there, it's nice. It's a boat. And at this time, I don't have a license. I have zero money. My friends have zero money. We all have zero money. So seeing a lake house to us as just a bunch of country boys, we was like, yo, this is like heaven. So we see a full-size boat in the back. Like those fishing boats that from where I consider them rich people, but there are like fishing boats in the back of the lake house, and it's a real nice lake house. So we try to put the key in, and the key does not work. Now, the key not working is a major red flag, but the biggest red flag is, I'm the only one that caught this, but I looked down at the boat in the back, and its inspection sticker, basically, how you need an inspection every year, I'm guessing. For maybe boats, it might be different, but I peeped this, is that the inspection sticker showed that it had been done 2 months prior to us being up there. So essentially, I was a little skeptical that, the grandpa was dead a year ago, because I'm like, who would have got the inspection done on this boat? Because the way Big White talked about it was, this place had just been up here and nobody was doing anything with it for over a year. Basically, he was saying that we was doing him a favor by giving it some use and by us throwing this party. That's kind of the vibe he gave off to us. So it was a major red flag with that, and a major red flag that, we had to kick the AC in to get in, and the key didn't work. Well, we ended up calling Big White. He wouldn't pick up the phone. We ended up calling him, and he would never pick up the phone because we was going to say, your key didn't work, what's going on? But we didn't think too much about it because, apparently the grandpa's dead. So we went ahead, as people in high school do, and we just went about our business. We all went home, and the next day on Saturday we threw the party. The party was lit. Girls everywhere. People was bringing all kinds of crazy. The Yee-Yees had the drugs on deck. It was wild. All right. It was beer pong going on. People was doing backflips off the boat while like hitting bongs. It was crazy. Okay. Now, I will say a lot of the night I was concerned because Big White never showed up. And I was like, why would you, try to make yourself look cool? I mean, you got all these high school football players that he always act like he looked up to. All these high school soccer players, all these cool crowd people that are at this party. And it would be dope if you were here because we would be like, hey, you made it all possible. You might get some girls to, how it goes. Girls always want somebody who is popular, you know what I'm saying? So you might be able to get girls off of it, anything. And he never showed up. So I was always concerned about that. But everybody was super hyped. Everybody was having so much fun that it kind of like went to the back of my mind. So anyway, we woke up. We all ended up passing out. And we got a little house. It's probably like a 2-bedroom. It's nice, but it was kind of small. So we might have like, who knows? The whole house was packed. People were laying on the floors. People were laying on each other. It was crazy. I start to see my friend Peter, the one in the Astro van. The one that I rode with to the party in the Astro van. And he has a tackle box, and he was saying, he's a Puerto Rican, and he was like, we love to fish or something. He was saying some crazy shit. So he was like, he wanted to fish before he left in the morning. So I walked down with him, and we walked to the back of the house and went down this hill, and we ended up fishing right beside the boat. And we was talking about how amazing the party was. And man, I can't believe Big White missed out on this one. Yo, we gotta give him his props. He was like, Big White's the coolest guy at high school. I can't believe, a freshman will come to high school and basically like let us have the house party of our dreams. It was amazing. Like we was giving Big White all his props. Well, as we're saying that, I hear a door close. And when I heard that door close, I automatically felt my heart sink. Because I'm like, why would somebody be showing up to this party at this time? I automatically knew it was going to be trouble. And I look up, and there is this Santa Claus looking figure. And I'm like, oh my God, the dead grandpa. I knew it as soon as I saw it. He looked pissed. He was like, hey, black boy. He was like racist with that shit. I was like, oh my God. And, Peter, he's Puerto Rican, so he looked black too. So like, I'm like, dude, I'm not about to go up here to this dude. Like, I dipped. Was the granddad, and he's knocking on the door, and he's going crazy. I mean, he's like, what y'all doing at my house? You, come on up here. Y'all come up here. We gonna figure this out, because, y'all going to jail, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's drugs everywhere, bro. Like, I'm just keeping a buck with you. He had a good case to be mad. Apparently, he was trying to sell the house. He's not dead, and the house is empty because it was he was showing the house off to people. So apparently he might have been trying to sell the house. I don't know. I took off running. So I'm running through the woods. I'm running like, well, let me say. First, I tried to walk off like I was one of the neighbors. So this is the house, and Peter goes up to the Santa Claus guy, and I get basically aborts mission. I walk like I'm walking next door, and I run up their driveway and run through the woods. I don't know why I did that. I'm probably running through the woods for a good 10 minutes. I mean, like full speed, booking through the woods. I have gotten so deep in the woods that I started to see deer sleeping. Okay, and if y'all don't know what deer look like when they sleep, it's weird to see. Like I just have never seen that, so I knew I was way too deep in this. Once I started seeing deer sleeping, I'm starting to see, like, I just felt like I was in the jungle. I really don't know where I was. And I kept running. Then I started hearing police cars. Woo, woo. I start hearing them. And I'm like, well, where I hear police cars, it must be society, I guess. So I run towards the police cars, towards the sirens. And I end up on a highway. Okay. And luckily, I kind of remember the highway. It's the highway to get to the beach house, the lake house. So I get out. I get to the highway, and I start jogging down the road, just trying to look, inconspicuous. I ended up leaving my bag, all my clothes. I left my phone. Right now I'm in dire situation. Okay. So as I'm running down the highway, I run up on this jogger. It's a lady. She's wearing Speedos, wild shit. So I go up to her. I say, "Hey, can I use your phone?" And she's like looking at me like I'm like some like thief. Like she thought I was just some like gangster thief. I don't know. Like she was literally about to like pepper spray my ass. Like I don't even know, what was going through her mind. I mean, this random black dude with, I think at the time I had with dreads. I have like what do you say, parts of trees on my body. I look like a homeless dude. Okay, I don't know. So she sees me bust out of the woods, and she sees me run up to her and ask for a phone, and she's like, "Nah, go ask them for the phone." And she points at a house. Okay, and this house is the most sketch house I've ever seen. I mean, it looks like a damn plantation. Okay, it looks like a literal plantation. Okay. The guy at the front door is legless, and he looks like Trevor from GTA. Okay, he looks like Trevor from GTA. But I am so afraid at this time. Okay, I have no license. Nobody knows where I am, and I have no phone. So at this point, I am like I feel like I'm in a different country because I don't know what I'm doing. So I go up to the guy's driveway. Big old plantation driveway, okay? And he's like on the front porch, but I didn't want to go directly to him. So I go to the side door and knock on it. And he rolls up to me and say, "What's the problem?" So then I tell him, I say, "Hey, my parents left me up here. I don't have a phone. Is there any way you can give me a ride to the gas station?" Now there's a gas station at the end of the road. So he looks at me. He basically knows I'm lying. He knows I probably look hungover. So he basically says, "Okay, I'm gonna give you a few dollars and take you to the gas station." So he literally gets, I guess, whoever is living with him. They get out and they're laughing about it the whole time. They're like, "I don't know what's up with this kid." So they put me in a car, take me to the gas station. While I get to the gas station, the $2 at the time, it costs like 50 cents to call on the phone. So at the time I was like, okay, I got to conserve this 50 cents. I got 4 shots. Okay. And my mom gets off at like 3ish. So this is around 9 in the morning. I said, I'm going to try to call twice. And after that, I got to conserve this money. I'm fucked. So, I'm in there, I'm freaking out, and there are cop cars whizzing by. All I see is cop cars whizzing by. Like it's obvious that like my friends back at the party they've been going through hell. Now, we'll flash to them real quick. From what I was told by them, the grandpa went crazy and started hitting kids, okay? He went crazy, he started hitting kids, screaming, and they're like, wait, stop. They tell him, they're like, "Listen, your grandson told us we can party here, and he told us that you were dead. So that's why we did it." And he's like, "You're a liar. You're a liar. He didn't say that. My grandson would never do that." So the big white guy he didn't show up to the party. So the granddad or whoever calls Big White and asks him and puts him on the phone with the grandpa. And the grandpa asks, "Did you tell him they could party up here? Did you tell him I was dead?" And Big White's like, "No." And remember that boat that I told y'all about, the kids were drinking and jumping off of? Well, there's an inspection sticker on that boat. And the inspection sticker was like 2 months before this party occurred. Okay. And Big White had told us that the granddad had been dead for like a year. So I should have put 2 and 2 together. I don't know how I didn't. But apparently that's one thing the grandpa was saying was, "Hey, look at the inspection sticker. Y'all dumb as hell." So Big White tells him that he didn't tell us that we could party there. He straight sells us out, straight lies on us, sells us out like 6ix9ine. So the grandpa calls the police get up there, and I think the police ends up calling him, and then Big White starts to confess. So when he confesses, the grandpa's mad at him, And they're like, listen, y'all just got to clean all this up. The cop is like, I don't want to do all this paperwork. Y'all are stupid. All the drugs got to get thrown away, 100%. And I'm not a part of all this. I'm the only one that escaped through the woods. So I'm by myself at the gas station, and they getting confronted at the party because it's one way in. It's the door, and the Santa Claus dude is standing at the door, so nobody can leave. So they got to sit there and hear this nonsense. But yeah, the cop was like, guys, just clean all this up. He smashed all the bongs. He destroyed everything. And ultimately, the cop was like, yo, y'all are cool as hell for doing this, low-key. This is back when like the society wasn't so blue-pilled, when the cancel culture wasn't going on, when people weren't so soft. The cop was just like, yo, that's a dope-ass party. Like, I can't lie. Like, just don't do it again and don't come back up here. So anyway, when the grandpa and the cop lets everybody leave, I start seeing cars I recognize while I'm at the gas station. I'm sitting there depressed. I mean, I'm sitting there like, man, I ain't gonna never see my family again. I ain't gonna never see nobody again. I started thinking about how I could like live in the woods, how I could like live and be homeless. Like, I had all these crazy thoughts. Well, the guy that I drove up to the party with drove a very, very distinct green Astro van. All right. The man's name is Pete. And when I saw him pull into that gas, luckily he needed to get gas before he came home. He needed to gas up because Astro vans take a lot of gas. Man, when I saw that car, I took off as fast as I could. I jumped in that Astro van head first like Superman. They was like, what the hell? Where you been at? I was like, look, I went through the woods, met a lady. Dude took me told him the whole story that I told y'all. And they were like, yo, that's crazy. Keep your head down because the cops are looking for you. So apparently the cops had been told that somebody ran, and whoever ran, they was like, you can't run from whatever. So I kept my head down. We got back to the city, and that was pretty much it, man. I was super lucky that he had to fill up. But ultimately, when we got to when we got home and we got back to the high school and confronted Big White was like, oh yeah, I just told y'all that because I knew y'all liked to party and I just wanted to fit in and be cool. I just don't have no friends in high school and I just wanted to be, hang out with you guys. I was like, bro, that's the biggest. You just basically ruined your whole image. Like, I can't even look at him the same. Like, for him to set us up like that, and then when the cops called to lie, that could have ruined all our lives. Like, it's people that was at that party that are now Marines, that are now business owners. All of our lives could have been changed if that lie would have stood, if they would have listened to that lie. So the fact that he sold us out, man, that's definitely the biggest betrayal of my life. And that's the craziest party I've ever been to. So that's why I say this story is like a double whammy. But y'all, I'm gonna start telling these stories because it's just therapeutic to think back of the things that we lived through, and that should have went a certain way, but somehow we make it through and end up having a good life on the back end.